Coming up on the front line of filth. In Oxford, the search for a needle
I just can't believe how many needles. Even I'm more shocked.
definitely doesn't mean rummaging through a haystack.
Blood all around it. It's not good.
Walsall's waste warriors
Probably about 4 ton on here, I would say.
find a sack full of evidence.
We found a letter that's addressed to you in some fly-tipped material, and I was wondering if you could enlighten me as to how it got there.
And in Huntingdonshire, a covert camera trap is cleverly concealed.
Before Rob was in this job, he works in the florists.
Just pass me the padlock. They are going to fly tip. We hope they fly tip in an area where we've got our cameras.
Britain produces a torrent of trash every single day. We generate a whopping 222 million tonnes of rubbish a year. And with nearly 19,000 fresh fly tips a week, we'd soon be buried by our bin bags if it wasn't for the grime busters waging war on our waste. In Oxford, it's Gary on the front line of filth.
The bigger, the messier the job, the better that you can get in there and see what you've done after. A bit of job satisfaction, isn't it?
And no job's too big
I mean, I'm not being funny or sick, but it looks like it weighs more than I do.
or too disgusting
I don't think that's cider somehow, is it?
for this one-man litter-picking machine.
We're all out there doing our bit to try and keep Oxford tidy. I wouldn't say we're a hero. Unsung hero. That's what we are. Or just a council worker.
And he's often at the extreme end of the war on waste.
Hi, Gary.
All right, Brian.
Yeah.
Here's take out the face mask today.
As part of the council's rapid response crew, he protects the public from the daily risks of hazardous waste.
And needle box.
Proper protection is paramount for the enforcers tasked with keeping our streets clean.
A lot of kit for this morning, isn't it? This is so no crap gets on me.
And one of the biggest daily dangers are used needles.
This is our standard drugs kit that we have for needles, for condoms and things. It's important that we have it due to, obviously, the amount of needles that we pick up now. Right, we check our bags every day just to make sure that we've got the proper kit. So we would have 3 tweezers. The tweezers are to pick up the needles. Easy. Very important that we have that in the vans. That's everyone has one of them in the vans.
Hypodermic needles are a serious issue for councils, who deal with over 18,000 calls to clear up used and potentially contaminated syringes a year.
Right, we've had a complaint come through. Apparently it's under a railway bridge in Blackburn-Lees. A lot of drug paraphernalia, i.e. needles.
Despite 15 years of patrolling Oxford streets, the city still throws up some grimy surprises.
I didn't even know there was a place there. I didn't think you could get to it. It's under a railway bridge. There could be people there drinking, sleeping. So it is unknown territory to me. It makes a little bit stomach go a little bit because I've got to pretend I'm this big brave lad, ain't I now? Which we can all be little cowards, can't we? Especially this one.
And it's not just the journey into the unknown which gets to Gary.
I opened up a bin recently because there was somebody said that there was a needle in a bin. And because I thought I was clever, do it first thing in the morning, pitch black, when something runs up your arm. I screamed. Rats are my kryptonite, big time. Don't like them. There's nothing nice to like about them, is there?
With luck, Gary will only have to deal with needles and not nibbler this morning. The tip-off about the problem site has led Gary to these playing fields.
Time to get suited and booted. Let's see what we got.
And even before he reaches the hotspot, his grimy senses are tingling.
Condom wrapper straight away. It's never a good sign, especially when they're out here. Just have to mind where you stand at the moment because we don't know what's going to be here. I've seen 5 or 6 needles without even looking properly. And I've just realised I'm changing my foot, putting this suit on now. There's a needle there straight away. That was so close to my foot.
With so many potentially deadly needles about, Gary has to approach the clean-up with extreme care.
And I'm more shocked because I've done some sites, but this is a bit of a bigger job than I thought. I can see why people complain. So what we do is we walk around with the old good old litter pickers to start with and have a little look round, see what we can be not treading on. Unfortunately, it's like needles straight away. But I think what we do is we concentrate on these needles, which there's an awful lot of them. Yeah, look, prime example. This is without even looking properly. And another one. And another one. Just scared to tread on anything. We have gone, what, a metre in, and we found 7 needles already. Shocking. It's bad, really, really bad.
From a blighted bridge in Oxford to a crud-infested cul-de-sac in the heart of the Black Country. Spout Lane might not mean much to you or I, but to enforcers in Walsall, it's a notorious fly-tipping hotspot.
Is all Spout Lane, these offences?
Yeah.
It's definitely the worst street.
More funnel than spout, the quiet cul-de-sac is a magnet for muck.
We've got problems all here and all here.
Prime territory for the town's fly tippers, the council spends around £2,000 a month to clear this one street alone. CCTV has been installed to act as a deterrent. But the dumping continues. After a tip-off about a large-scale fly tip, the council needs hard physical evidence to follow up on. So they're sending a man who's made a career out of other people's rubbish. Meet bin man turned enforcer, Joe.
I've done 7 years on the back of a bin lorry, and I never knew it was such a problem until I've come onto this side of the team. I feel like that I'm making more of a difference, really.
Climbing the Grime ladder has its perks, as Joe now investigates rather than clears the district's illegal fly tips.
We're off to Spout Lane in Walsall, going there to go and look at a large fly tip. Once we arrive, we will take a couple of bags out of the waste, open them up and see if there is any documentation in there from any residents throughout the Walsall borough.
Unfortunately, Joe still has to get his hands dirty from time to time. Rummaging through refuse is just part of the job.
Once the process is done from our side, we would pass it on to community protection, and hopefully from there, they can build a strong enough case for, if not a prosecution, or, you know, a very, very good stone talking to.
Spout Lane's turning Walsall into a wasteland. Determined to nail the despicable dumpers, Jason and Paul from the council's clean-up crew arrive to help sift for evidence.
I think we best start up this corner.
Yeah.
It's probably the worst. We'll get some gloves on. We'll give you a chuck rip in the bag for some evidence.
That's fine then.
It's all domestic waste, yeah. Probably about 4 ton on here, I would say.
The boys are getting stuck right in. Working alongside Enforcer Joe, they're finding crucial evidence to build a case.
Yeah, well, there's a parking ticket there. That was in. It's got the address and the reg number of the car there as well.
Some evidence there.
When we have one person start fly tipping, it's like a magnet, really, unfortunately.
Name and address, so that's ideal to pass to enforcement.
Yeah, evidence-wise, it's a pretty strong start here. We found probably about 4 or 5 different addresses in probably about 3 or 4 different areas.
With addresses in the bag, Enforcer Joe will now pass the evidence on to a team who can knock on doors and make inquiries, leaving the boys to tidy up the tip.
To me, it looks like it's a man in a van job. Possibly may live in the area, he may know this area very well.
It's dirty work, clearing up other people's muck.
Every 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be here moving this.
It's hard to keep doing. I don't want to keep doing this every time either. You know, it's the nicest thing to have to do, is it, on a Monday morning?
And a load this large requires costly machinery to clear.
The council has to spend just over 100,000 for this vehicle to do jobs like this.
Which drains the council's coffers.
Obviously, if there weren't this kind of stuff about, that 100,000 could have been spent on better things, children's services, libraries. The last time I come here with this, I done 7 loads on it, and it took me a day and a half.
What do you reckon, Matt? Come on, Matt.
They've searched to infinity and beyond to find the evidence they need.
He's got about 3 tonne of rubbish on already, which I'll have to go and take to the tip now, empty off. And he will be back for possibly another, could be up to another 4 or 5 loads.
With names and addresses in hand, thanks to Joe, the office-based enforcement team can now hunt for the litter-louts.
Hopefully community protection can go and fulfil this bit now and go and do some door knocking and ask the residents why their rubbish has ended up at this site.
And those tasked with knocking on the suspects' doors
OK, there should be a log on our system then.
are no-nonsense waste enforcers, Pete, Sarah and Alistair.
Let's go.
Coming up,
3, 4.
Gary counts the cost of a grimy night in Oxford.
There was 21 needles and 6 condoms. Good day's work now.
And there's no smoke without fly tips in Huntingdonshire.
The front seats have been set alight, and in 5 minutes the vehicle really gets going.
While Walsall's enforcers doorstep criminal dumpers.
We found a letter that's addressed to you in some fly-tipped material, and I was wondering if you could enlighten me as to how it got there.
In Oxford, Grime fighter Gary's call-out to a report of used hypodermics near some playing fields led to the discovery of a huge haul of dangerous syringes.
Unfortunately, it's like needles straight away, and another one, and another one. We have gone, what, a metre in, and we found 7 needles already. Shocking. It's bad, really, really bad.
With 15 years grime busting under his belt, it takes a lot to shock Gary.
We will now make sure that this place is spotless before we go anywhere. We'll put all the needles together as we're coming along.
Councils provide sterile needles at no cost to reduce the risk of bloodborne infections amongst drug users.
So we've got some there, another one here.
The used needles are the priority, but there's other potentially hazardous waste here.
First condom. Well, if there's condoms here and they're having a bit of fun and get a bit excited and start rolling around on the floor, they're going to get more than a prick up their arse, aren't they? It'd be in the knees, in the back. And we've only 3 metres in. I just can't believe how many needles. Even I'm more shocked. Gee, there's a lot of action goes on in here. Hell of a lot of action. There's 2. I reckon we just missed them.
A grimy night means a busy afternoon for Gary.
We're halfway through now. That must be, what, 20 needles?
It's one of the biggest hauls he's ever encountered. And Gary takes some evidential snaps so an action plan can be put together for this location.
My boss wouldn't believe this. 3.
After an hour of cleaning up, Gary's collected an astonishing haul.
Yeah, it was 21 needles and 6 condoms. Good day's work now.
But his work's not over yet, as his litter pick reveals even more.
Another one. So, I mean, you're not always going to get them. Again, this is a good thing about going around litter picking after, because you will come across, I mean, that's 3 needles I've missed straight away. If we give it a tidy up, people can see that we've been here. So hopefully it might prevent them coming back here tonight. Right, that's us done. Today, we've managed to clear all the needles. And if we do manage to see anything new tomorrow, then we know it's going to be a bit of a problem when we get the CRT team in, which are the crime prevention team. But being on a playing field, I'd make that one of my top priorities now.
"80 miles away in the Black Country, waste warriors in Walsall are hot on the heels of the district's dumpers.
It's got the address on the reg number of the car there as well.
A good old rummage has revealed a trashy trove of evidence.
That's ideal to pass to enforcement.
And at the council's investigations unit, the Mean Green enforcement team are chomping at the bit to get their hands on new leads.
And what's the street name?
Pete, Sarah and Alistair are the officers who hope to turn these fresh leads into fines and punishment.
A number of addresses were recovered from envelopes that were found within the waste that was deposited on the site. So the intention is to go to those addresses and try and find out how that private correspondence ended up where it did. Should we head on out?
Let's go.
It's off to the first address.
Go ahead, make my day.
But will these dirty Harrys bring anyone in?
It's not looking hopeful.
There's no point in pussyfooting around here.
I'm going to speak to them another day.
So it's on to the next address.
Nice cats.
Number 4, so to 14.
The second address also draws a blank. Third time lucky?
Do you recognise this name? It's not here.
The person named on the letter found in the fly tip doesn't live here after all.
Thank you.
But the grime-busting trio are not ones to give up easily.
It says we've arrived.
So when the fourth and final address fails to provide a suspect, smooth-talking Alistair collars him on the phone.
We found a letter that's addressed to you in some fly-tipped material, and I was wondering if you could enlighten me as to how it got there. Because the letter's addressed to you. And I'll send you an email explaining what we found, all right? Cheers, buddy. So that was the addressee who appears on this envelope. I'm going to write an email to this chap explaining to him why we've come to his house today and explaining where this rubbish has been found. And hopefully we'll be able to establish a link as to how it got from here to where it ended up.
A frustrating afternoon for the enforcers. But just like Dirty Harry, these guys will always get their man.
Do you have a bin? Do you put your rubbish in a bin? Yeah.
If you persist to commit offences of this nature in this borough, we'll find you.
Councils like Walsall count the cost of a fresh fly tip every 30 seconds. With over 2,700 dumps a day, a tide of trash can wash up anywhere and at any time. But in the war on waste, there's one weapon the tippers fear more than any other: CCTV. Gotcha. Now, how's about you pick that up and take that home, eh? There's a good fly tipper. Enforcer Rob's definitely a man who values an extra pair of eyes when fighting grime in Huntingdonshire.
These cameras are normal trail cameras, mainly used for spotting wildlife. Because they're camouflaged, they're lightweight and quite small, we can normally sight them in excellent locations where the fly tipper can't see them.
Capable of surveilling the district's litter hotspots day and night, covert cameras are a key weapon wielded by the enforcers.
We have 8 of them deployed at any one time at any locations across the district.
But it's not as simple as setting up wherever the enforcers fancy.
When we spot a location which is being targeted by fly tippers, we go to the courts and apply for what's called RIPA authorisation, which allows us to put covert cameras up in those locations.
Get the placement right, however, and the cameras pay for themselves.
We've had successes with these cameras so far. They've ranged from £150 fixed penalty notices for littering, up to £400 fixed penalty notices for people turning up in their vehicles and fly tipping. When you use the pictures or videos and you put that type of evidence in front of someone who's committed the offence, at that point their stories normally change.
With 3 years on the job, Rob and his trusty cameras have seen it all at fly tipping hotspots.
The first incident that we had on this location, 2 individuals exit the vehicle, open the back door quite blatantly and start to get rid of what seems to be topsoil. Firstly, they decide to obviously just place it on the existing rubble that's there. and secondly, just give up totally and just start throwing it straight out the back of the car.
With a dump site marked, it doesn't take long for the town's tippers to descend.
In the next video, that all of a sudden there's some carrots being placed, and those carrots obviously have come from somewhere, and that's the only vehicle in the shot at the moment.
Organic or otherwise, fly-tipped waste acts as a magnet for more.
So locations which are quite well hidden away, you can start off with just a few bags of soil being dumped there, which can then lead to 1-ton bags of rubbish, and it just grows.
Known to enforcers as the broken window effect, covert cameras provide a front-row seat to the action.
If there's a fly tip like what you see already in the picture on the side where you've got your ton rubble sacks, it just attracts more fly tipping coming in. It just looks like an opportunity in a place where people can just come in and dump the waste.
Enforcers know that if the waste isn't dealt with quickly, the situation can spiral out of control.
Things sort of ramped up when we had a vehicle placed in there and the perpetrators decided to burn it out. The front seats have been set alight. And that the perpetrator is still in the back setting alight to the rear seats. And in 5 minutes, the vehicle really gets going.
What started out as slung soil ended up as a smouldering saloon.
We shared the information with the police. They linked it back to a vehicle that had been reported as stolen about 2 hours earlier.
While the cameras can't stop the fly tippers, the evidence they gather gives the enforcers a fighting chance of catching them.
We obviously got a good spot for one of our cameras and no one saw it. So yeah, it's a really good hide. We got some items out of it rather than any large fly tips. We've still got a lot of intel. But yeah, we'll continue to place these across the district.
Coming up, Rob's combining analog technology with digital.
Mark, can you take out the log camera for us, please?
Sure.
As he attempts to keep his hidden cameras hidden.
This is the first time I've seen this one.
Is that well camouflaged, that's why.
And Gary's doing his best to keep his lunch down.
You can never predict when you're going to be hungry, because some jobs that you do is like will put you off your food a little bit. A runny poo somewhere or a bit of sick. Might put me off for about half hour, but don't usually put me off my food, but as you can see.
Keeping a lid on Huntingdonshire's little outs is too big of a job just for Rob.
There's something in there.
Yeah.
All frontline filth fighters deserve a partner in grime. So meet ex-cop and no-nonsense enforcer, Mark.
I think we work reasonably well like that, don't we? Bouncing ideas and sorting things out.
Well,
speaking for myself.
You tell yourself that.
Yeah. Rob keeps me on the straight and narrow.
No matter how awful the conditions,
Cambridgeshire, wonderful.
Oh, delightful. Yeah, we love it. We don't really.
or how strung out the evidence.
It's not as bad as that 700 kilos of raw chicken we found recently. Oh, talking of which, God knows what that is. Fancy fried tripe and onions?
This pair will stop at nothing to bring down the district's dumpers.
What's in mystery bag number 4?
I don't know, Rob.
But with 1,000 square kilometres to patrol, it's impossible to be in all places at all times. So they rely on a little help from their friends.
So across our district, we use covert cameras. These are in our hotspot areas where we've identified fly tipping occurring.
Capable of operating 24/7, cameras are king when it comes to catching the little outs.
This morning we're heading back out to one of our covert camera sites. The camera's now been in there for 3 weeks. We're going to have a look, see if we can make any improvements to the line of sight or the images and videos that camera's currently taking.
But these guys don't just sling their cameras up in any old place. They're masters of subterfuge, employing the very latest technology in the Grime fighter's arsenal.
Mark, can you take out the log camera for us, please?
Sure.
Here you go, mate.
This is the first time I've seen this one.
Is that well camouflaged, that's why.
A tree trunk.
Where's the lead for that, Mark?
Keeping the cameras covert is key to papping the perpetrators.
So I've just retrieved the camera that was opposite this fly tip site. Just going to replace the batteries and the memory card in there, and then we'll redeploy it in a new location.
This site has been regularly targeted by fly tippers in recent weeks.
We've had 4 fly tips here in the last month. This is one of the first ones that we had, which we took a short video of. It's 3 to 4 tons of waste. They're all a similar type of fly tip, same sort of materials, same sort of MO, where they've reversed in, tipper's gone up and they've gone. So yeah, this is what we're trying to identify now, try to identify the vehicle, and if we're lucky with our cameras, the person's doing it.
With the cameras serviced, it's time to find a new hiding place. But covert surveillance requires skill and patience.
I think, Rob, that needs to be sort of recessed into the brambles.
Yeah, I know, but it's having that lock. There's nothing I can secure it to.
While log cams at home among the brambles, the enforcers are worried it'll be nicked if they can't secure it.
It's painful. Maybe this wasn't such a great idea.
Oh, it's a brilliant idea.
Log cam's going to have to go on this one.
What we thought was a favourable location is not, because we can't secure the camera to something, so we're just going to have to look for another site.
With log cam experiencing technical difficulties, it's on to plan B.
The current state of play is the ladders have come out. This is serious now. So Rob's thought that perhaps the best location now is on a tree.
It's the latest in Tree Sea TV.
Mark, how's that looking from where you are?
Obvious.
Brilliant, really obvious.
Yeah. I think you need to try and put some of that light green ivy in front of it if you can. Before Rob was in this job, he works in the florists.
Just pass through the padlock. All right, it's probably the best we're going to get.
So that's one down, only one to go.
We don't want people to fly tip over the district, but if they are going to fly tip, we hope they fly tip in an area where we've got our cameras, so we can actually catch the people doing it.
What would that look like from there, where you are?
Yeah, good. But I've got no line of sight on it.
No, I also have to clear that away. I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. I'll try.
With both cameras finally sighted, all that remains to do is leave them in position and see what they snap.
This site will be hit again for fly tipping. Whether it's next week, next month or next year, it will happen.
As much as we can do at this site, we have. We've now just got to leave it alone for a little bit, take our vans and ourselves away, and if they catch something, they catch something.
Hoping not to catch something in Oxford, litter pickup artist Gary's a man used to getting his gripper dirty.
It's definitely not the most glamorous job in the world, this one.
He bins the bins
Oh, apparently this is a burnt-out wheelie bin.
and tips the trash discarded on our streets. And this morning, he's looking for a needle in a cul-de-sac.
This is what people were given. This is a needle box, but it's broken, so they might have chucked it from over there. It's hit here and broke open, because all the needles just like clumped together. Somebody's trying to do the right thing, which is, believe it or not, I didn't realise that's what it said on them.
After a morning spent hunting for hypodermics, Gary grabs the opportunity for a spot of lunch.
You can never predict when you're going to be hungry, because some jobs that you do is like will put you off your food a little bit. If it's just like a runny poo somewhere or a bit of sick, might put me off for about half hour, but it don't usually put me off my food. But as you can see, I don't care.
The job may not turn his stomach anymore, but there is one thing guaranteed to get to Gary.
I mean, if I've had to pick up a load of sick, which, if it's got that horrible stuff called sweet corn in it, it will put me off for about an hour. I can't deal with sweet corn. I've got a phobia of it, don't like it. It's disgusting.
Or is that two things?
I think the worst possibly thing I could find, which would even shake me, would be a rat eating sweet corn. I'm scared of rats. If there's a rat there, he wins. Especially if he's got a load of sweet corn as well. He definitely wins. No chance. No chance whatsoever. No talking about it, so he might put me off in a little sausage roll.
With lunch kept down, it's on to the next job, and it's a call out to a different type of hazardous waste.
Brian from the office has just phoned up and said that we've got to quickly go and have a look at some asbestos that's been fly tipped.
If inhaled, asbestos fibres can damage the lining of the lungs, potentially causing a range of fatal diseases. So Gary knows he has to be extra careful around this dangerous dump.
Report of the asbestos should be at the bottom of this road. Yeah, it's out the way. Hardly any lights. Asbestos is really toxic. It looks like it's blue asbestos, so which is more dangerous than the standard corrugated roofing. So this is another problem that we're going to have to deal with.
This toxic tip was called in by a group of tree surgeons working on the street.
I realised that it was the blue asbestos, so I didn't want him thinking we put it here.
More people die from asbestos exposure than road traffic accidents in the UK each year.
7 sheets, 10 foot long. That's about as much as I can do. I'll take some pictures now, and then when we get back to the yard, at least then they can see pictures, put it back on the system, do a fly tipping report form for it. But the thing is, if they take it to our local tip, they could have done this for nothing. So now that cost us a lot more, I should imagine now, for effort, time. Don't know why they do it. So I've been pulled off a job for somebody else who's lazy enough just to fly tip a load of asbestos. So which is going to put me further behind by somebody that's just not, don't give a damn, do they?
Without the proper protective equipment, Gary is going to have to return to base before he can clear up this hazardous waste.
Something that we've got to deal with. So it's back to the office.
Coming up, Rob and Mark's covert trap has been sprung.
There's a few bags to go through, quite a bit of furniture.
But have their cameras captured the criminal?
You got anything, Rob?
I'm not seeing anything as yet.
Let's hope we get the vehicle.
And back on needle patrol, Gary's work's never done.
In 12 hours, somebody's been in here and using a needle.
In Oxford, grime buster Gary is back on the road, keeping the streets of his hometown clean and safe.
I've been in Oxford all my life. I'm born and bred here. So I suppose being born and bred here, that's why I love it so much. It's one of the great places to live. This is why I get a bit passionate about doing what I do. Yeah, keep Britain tidy. This is keep Oxford tidy.
Yesterday, he collected a huge haul of hypodermics. Having established the site as a new hazardous waste hotspot, he's going back to check it less than 24 hours later.
Right now, it's a crack of dawn. We'll be able to see if there was any fresh needles or anything like that, or fresh condoms. See if they were busy last night.
Taking no chances, it's back on with the protective gear.
Get the suit on just in case there is more stuff down there.
Enforcers must take every precaution, especially when dealing with this type of dangerous drug waste.
We'll look quickly now for some fresh needles, if there is any. Because the way they was just positioned yesterday is that it was just all over the place, so it's not like they're hiding them, so it's just a matter of using them and chucking them, so.
And it doesn't take long to find new evidence.
See a needle straight away, which obviously I know this wasn't here yesterday because it's so in clear view of everyone, so, well, not everyone, but the problem is blood all around it. It's not good, not even no cap on the end of it. And this is what we've got to deal with. So now this will be now a live spot.
As an active site, it's now firmly on the council's radar, scheduled for regular cleanups.
We can't be having this, and with the school kids, just before they go to school, I mean, they might be playing under here. Playing under here or skiving, no matter what it is, they don't deserve to be around this kind of stuff. So this area might get fenced off now, or just be checked every day. It was only 12 hours ago we was here last. So in 12 hours, somebody's been in here and using a needle. Friggin' annoying.
It's personal for Gary, as he's all too aware of how scary syringes can be.
About 6 months ago, going through some bedding, shook it like I'd normally do. Nothing come out, so again, I had a bit of a mad moment, just chucked it on the back of the van, and where it got caught, trying to push it through the hole, which I should have made bigger for myself anyway, to put the bed in through, and there was still a needle in there, and it caught me here.
After thoroughly washing the site of the needle injury with water and soap, it's imperative to get to A&E as quickly as possible for testing.
This is why I will make sure that I will pick up everything that I can possibly see. I'm just giving it a gentle rake over, just in case I missed anything yesterday. I like doing thorough jobs. I know that there's no ifs or buts about, you know, have I left anything there? If we heard anyone that got, you know, stuck with a needle, then I'd feel a bit responsible, even though it wasn't me that put them here. But I prefer to take my time a little bit longer to do this kind of work than just saying, yeah, that's good enough.
While the chances of catching HIV from a syringe are slim, Gary knows all too well how agonising the wait is to get the all clear, with results taking between 6 weeks and 3 months to process.
Actually, hold on. See that? And that's raking through again, so that's 3 times we've raked through. I'm glad I've redone it again.
Cleaning up after Britain's 87,000 hard drug users means it's a never-ending battle for enforcers like Gary.
In total now, just in this area, I think that's 27 needles. I think it was 18 cap ends with that one now, so that's 29. Right, get in the van, tools away, and then we're done. This has got to be the worst one I've seen, especially in a park. I mean, it's out of sight, out of mind there, so I understand why they do it, but I don't understand why they do it, so... But I'm not worried now, it's all done. Most that it'd be now is maybe 1 or 2 needles a day, which is still not good enough, but it's controllable.
From syringes to surveillance, a sting operation in Huntingdonshire gets a shot in the arm.
It's Rob Mitchell from the District Council. Just had some information that there's been a fly tip this morning at Worsley.
Enforcer Rob's been tipped off about a fresh dump deposited in sight of his cameras.
Many thanks, mate. Bye.
With 2 covering the entrance, there's a good chance of some solid evidence.
It'll be good news if there's a fly tip. It'll be bad news if the cameras haven't picked it up.
As he races to the dump site,
Oh, mate, I'll see you in about 25.
Rob calls his partner in Grime.
OK, mate, cheers, buddy. Bye. Mark's been out on a job this morning already, and he's on his way there as well. So, due to the fact we've got 2 cameras out there, it'll be quicker if 2 of us get down there, get the cameras out. Well, the fly tip's not at the entrance, is where we've got our cameras focused. It's a little bit further down the track, so there's still a possibility we may have spotted something or seen something on the cameras. We'll just have to have a look.
With so much riding on this, it's a tense moment for the team.
The most important thing at the moment is that the camera is still in position. That's not gone, so that's a bonus for starters.
So it's back up the tree for Rob.
Let's see yours run as smoothly as that one.
Look like a little rabbit coming through the hedge. Oh.
OK, so I've just retrieved the camera from the hide we had at the tree. What I'm going to do now is just have a look for any footage that could lead us to who's done that fly tip down the end.
Will their craft and cunning, stealth and subterfuge pay off?
You got anything, Rob?
Nothing. Please don't.
The unit failed, and there's no evidence on the memory card. But that's exactly why the enforcers cover every spot with 2 cameras.
Right, you've got images, Mark, anyway.
Let's hope we get the vehicle.
I'm not seeing anything as yet. Well, there's quite a few images to go through on this one. No. Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing?
Nah.
Oh, that's a bummer. So, did it show any indication at all of a vehicle?
Nothing. 1 dog walker.
After so much preparation and effort, it's a huge blow.
Slightly disappointed with the cameras. One of them has taken footage, but due to the fact of the foliage that had dropped down in front of the camera, we just got a lot of grass images, basically, so we missed the vehicle. And the one that we thought we would get a good hit on had failed, which happens. We've had it before, and that's a massive shame.
Sometimes the old ways are the best ways, so the enforcers roll up their sleeves and get their hands dirty.
There's a few bags to go through, quite a bit of furniture. Obviously, you can see the TVs, but yeah, we'll go through the bags. We'll have a look a little bit closer. We've got a couple of bags up there as well.
Sifting through the dump for evidence may be low-tech,
I think that looks like an address in St Ives.
but when it yields results like this, it will never go out of fashion.
Throw it in the van, because when it dries out, we'll see it anyway.
While the cameras may have failed them this time, they can always fall back on the tried and tested methods straight from the enforcer's handbook.
We've found a very faded address. We've got no idea where that could have came from, but we'll start our chase now. We'll go have a door knock and see what happens. Obviously, the cameras in the hotspots are a useful bit of kit when they detect, but someone still sort of leaves evidence within a fly tip that we can follow. We'll do that as well.
With the evidence in the bag, the council's clean-up crew are called in.
They will be clearing this one up. In our opinion, it's on the bridleway, and therefore we have a responsibility to clear it. Cheers, guys.
All too aware that fly tippers frequently return to the scene of their crimes, the team reset the cameras to go again.
You use the holly stuff that's on the deck around it.
If you think you're coming out and going to get success every time, then you're in the wrong job. You have to be persistent, you have to keep at it and persevere, and sooner or later you will get the results you need. I've got no doubt that we'll be catching the people who are fly tipping here, certainly over the next few weeks and months.
Bogbusters in Surrey,
What have you found, John?
rooting out a hidden menace.
A little bit of root. It is free-flowing fertiliser. Anything with roots, if they can find a way in, this is what happens.
We've got some amazing shots.
The Hampshire Have-A-Go heroes take the fly tip fight back online.
PR, social media, press, you name it. We're going to be on to everyone.
While in East Sussex, a big annual bonfire clean-up goes off with a bang.
We don't want the dust cart catching fire.